the manufacturing sector has come out of a 3-month recession. According to Stats SA, factory output rose 5.6% year-on-year. The main drivers of the growth included basic iron and steel and motor vehicle production. But the sector is not out of the woods yet. In the 3 months to the end of July, production contracted by 1.3%. With the rand at significant lows relative to the country's major trading partners, it remains to be seen whether this will see the sector some competitive edge in exports. But challenges remain for producers, like higher costs of production, which include higher energy and labour costs. Well, growth in platinum production continues to ensure that overall mining production figures in South Africa remain in positive territory. Stats SA says mining output increased by 5.5% in July compared to the same period last year, thanks to a 72% increase in platinum output. All right, well, joining us now from our Cape Town studios, mining analyst from Cadiz, Peter Major. Peter, thanks indeed for talking to us once again. Before we get into the tedious numbers, today the spotlight is on the unearthing of a different kind, not gold, not platinum, but groundbreaking fossils. I mean, surely a major find for the country. What's your take?
Well, definitely. The fact that they found 15 bodies or parts of 15 bodies in one chamber, and they don't find any animals or other kind of fossils, it makes it look like it was a burial chamber, not just a quicksand pit or a tar pit where various animals fell inside of it. And I don't know if it's true that this is a totally different species. I know some of the foreign critics said, well, they see a lot of characteristics similar to others. But when something is that old, 2.8, 2.6 million years old, it's easy to confuse it with another species. But I don't think they'll confuse it with human beings. I think it looked a lot too civilized for human beings. You know, there's no sign of mischief, no sign that there was murder, cracked skulls, fragments of rocks in the skulls. So I don't think they're related to us.
All right, so let's just move on to more precious elements that we take out of the ground now, Peter. Mining output numbers, 5.6% overall growth. I see platinum still making a significant contribution here. But are all of these just base effects from last year? Well,
look, we'll take what good news we can get. Yes, platinum is still recovering from that huge, messy strike we had last year. But it shows 5.5% growth, you know, just up from last month. That's pretty good. They said manganese production's up a little bit. But I think what we got to worry about is the real precious metals like gold, which is more precious than platinum. And we got to worry about diamonds. And we're not increasing our production of gold and diamonds. And we are increasing our population growth. So we need to increase production of all our minerals. First of all, because we have an increasing population, but even more important than that, the prices have fallen, and dramatically so. So if the price of your commodity falls, you've got to produce a lot more of that commodity to have the same revenue.
Yeah.
So we're in a tough spot. We are in a cycle that's now turned down after 10 wonderful years, and we've got to cut our costs, and we've got to increase the production volumes of those commodities.
Yeah, I was saying, let's talk about gold, Peter, for a moment. I mean, that gold output figure, it's been negative for some time. Its contribution in the latest count, negative 0.74%. What is that telling us about the sector in particular at the moment?
Boy, it's just screaming, I'm in trouble, I'm in mortal trouble, and I'm dying rapidly. And that's it. Our gold production is not cyclical. You know, our platinum production is taking a big knock from a couple of years ago, but even at these lower prices, we're slowly increasing it again. But gold, it doesn't matter what the gold price is, we produce less every year. And that's because most of that gold comes from deep shafts, and we haven't sunk any deep shafts in about 8 or 9 years. There's no plans to sink another shaft. So these gold mines are all going to be closed in a few years. And when you think we produced 600 tons a year for nearly 60 years. We got up to 900 and 1,000 tons. That really added to this economy. And that's one of the reasons the rand is getting so weak, is we're printing more money, we're increasing the number of people here, and we're decreasing the amount of exports that bring in dollars. Our tourism's down. Gold is hugely down, and no chance of gold coming back. Hopefully we can get tourism back up.
Mm-hmm. Peter, this week assurances from a forum of stakeholders assuring the public, of course that was chaired by the President, that they will work together on potential retrenchments, the selling of assets, labour stability, etc., to ensure, of course, that this sector survives. Were you convinced this week?
Look, even if they have good intentions, even if they mean what they say, they need actions. You know, a deep-level gold mine takes 5, 6, 7 years to sink. It takes billions. Nobody will put any money into a deep-level shaft. Nobody's volunteered to put it. Nobody's crazy enough. You only put money in a deep shaft if you're very sure you're going to make money. And so we've got so many rules, regulations, policy changes in these last 10, 15 years. That's why nobody's doing it. There's no way you can economically take gold out of 2, 3 kilometer deep shafts anymore in this country. We've just altered the environment so much. So even if we hug, make up, kiss, and date each other, that's not changing the reality. There's too many changes that need to be done for us to ever start producing gold again. And I just don't see any of it happening.
All right, Peter Major from Katie's. Thanks very much indeed for your insight.